Non-Americans of Reddit. What scandal is happening in your country? Kenya. President admitted on radio that roughly $20,000,000,2 BN Kenyan shillings is being embezzled daily. Africa, we are a special kind of messed up. Sudan here. And the term third world country just doesn't cover how much of a rest show we are in. Currently the number one guy in command is an illiterate mercenary who got paid years ago by the former government by giving him an actual mountain of gold. He mined it for almost 10 years and now he has an army of mercenaries roaming the city like it's this. Not so much a scandal, but we are just waiting for the bloodbath to start. In Czech Republic, our Prime Minister Andrej Babis is one of the richest people in Czech Republic and former STB, secret police during communism in Czechoslovakia, agent. His company is getting millions in grants from European Union, which other companies won't get easily, and he found and exploited mistake in our tax system. So Czech Prime Minister doesn't pay taxes, gets unfair grants, and also lies frequently. During COVID-19 pandemic, Minister of Health left his position. They say because he couldn't handle his situation. But it was mainly because he didn't agree with Prime Minister. Second Minister of Health had to leave because he went to restaurant during lockdown and got caught by paparazzi. And the third one is making stupid decisions. At this point nobody believes Czech government. Edit 1. His voting group is mostly seniors and old people who vote him because he literally gives money of taxpayers to them. Czech Republic. Our government got vaccines without syringes. Also most of our politicians are corrupt as well, and we had 3 ministers of health reelected in the last year. Also, our Premier Andrej Babis is making sure that a lot of funding goes to a corporation called AgroFert which is destroying the landscape because he has a lot of stock in it. South Africa. Turns out that after initial discussions with Pfizer about a vaccine in July, our government just failed to respond to follow-ups until the end of the year. So now there's no COVID vaccine ordered, and no money to buy vaccine with, so taxes may need to be raised. An Icelandic fishing company did some shady business in Namibia. Now Namibia wants the guys extradited and shot, and a Norwegian bank stopped doing business with that company. Italy. I have no idea what the government is doing, but apparently we have been without a government for a couple of days. In Serbia, it was found out that an actor who had his own acting academy for kids raped at least 5 of them when they were the age of 15 to 17. So it's mostly about that on the news and of course the vaccines. Denmark. We are showing a children's show about a guy with an extremely long pee that keeps getting him in trouble. There's still the matter of RPM's breaking of the constitution when all mink were culled. And then the former integration minister broke the law knowingly, lied to parliament and the commission investigating the case. This leads to a further fracture in the main opposition party. South Korean. Here we recently had a child abuse case surface where a 1-year-old girl was adopted by a couple who brutally beat her to death. The president, in his haste to try and settle the public, has suggested that adopted children should go through a trial period rather than being permanently adopted from the first place. Mozambique. Here, we have a war in a province called Cabo Delgado because some terrorists want oil, so they kill a lot of civilians. Indonesia. An American black lesbian influencer in Bali made a thread on Twitter promoting her luxurious lifestyle and selling a $30 ebook and $50/HR consultation service about Bali life. Bragged about not having to pay taxes since she's remote working for a US company, overstaying on vacation visa, which is illegal too, paying cheap rent for her Paradise Tree house, although said cheap rent is 2x the minimum monthly salary of locals 3, having an insider to help foreigners evade rules and travel despite COVID restrictions 4, living the life an LGBTQ friendly place. Many Indonesians and Indonesia by law are not LGBTQ friendly, and I can't explain how much harm she's causing by saying this. Tweet goes viral, and in a rare moment the whole country could unite against one enemy. Lectures about gentrification and near-colonization galore. Memes are everywhere. The influencer played victim. saying all the haters are just racist and homophobic. The story reaches international Twitter, who thought she's being discriminated against, and hilarious multi-language flame war ensued. It went across other social media and eventually to news outlets and the authority. And the next day she got deported. Probably will fuel a crackdown on trashy foreigners in Bali, since a Russian influencer who's been breaking laws around Bali just got caught today and will also be deported this week. Norway. An ice cream company changed their logo. Corrupt mayor, who was shot and lived, dies from COVID. His Mayfair are postponing the new election so they can steal more money. All the banks are tied up in a real estate scam and are massively over-leveraged and could go bust. Edit. Ukraine. A sort of famous singer in my country touched a boy's dong in the middle of a concert. His manager just said that it was the way they showed affection and respect in his village. Obviously jurisdiction is absolute garbage here, so he's free doing whatever the F he wants. And now he was caught with a 12-year-old. The singer's name is Sylvester Dangan and I live in Colombia. Netherlands. A lot of people had been scammed with child allowance/benefit, not sure how it's called in English, by the government. They had to pay it back in large amounts several years ago. Some people lost their homes with it and stuff. And now it becomes clear that did had the rights to that money. Greece. High-ranking official of the Olympic national sailing team is accused of sexually abusing multiple young female athletes. Recently changed the name of dragon fruit to camelum, which is Sanskrit for lotus. They say it is because it looks like a lotus, and apparently calling a fruit dragon is inappropriate. SMH. So basically the entire world is a rest show. Here in Mexico we have a president that literally told us that the way to stop COVID-19 is to buy stickers of Jesus and tell it to go away. Holland here. Tax scandals. The government resigned last week. After reading all of the replies, can we just agree the world is fucked by politics? Hong Kong. Can't speak out about the government or you'll disappear to China. Can't peacefully protest either or have certain words displayed on your shirt. Not allowed to vote for your political candidates as they'll get rounded up and arrested. Edit. This was all done under the national security law, which basically gives China sweeping power over HK and has turned HK into a police state. Snitching on anyone breaking the NSL is encouraged. There's even a hotline and email. There was a WhatsApp number, but it may have been taken down already. Someone threw a chewing gum on the floor. Made national news. I live in Switzerland. BTW. Kid of the leading politician scored himself an approximate $130k scholarship for some British school. Supposedly everybody can get this scholarship, but it seems like he is the only one who got this high amount of cash out of it. Mother and baby homes report. The single most shameful stain on our country. The state, the church and society not only allowed it but actively participated. The Chinese are mining bitcoins in my county, so there was a national scale blackout. Like us without electricity, also water in some cases. Brazil. I'm from the Amazon, and we have no more oxygen cylinders available for people with COVID, making every single case potentially fatal. The fact our government makes it harder for us doesn't help. I'm living in Canada today, thankfully, but I have family members and friends who died because of that. I had the virus myself, so I know how necessary these are. Mexico. Our president decided to give vaccines to poorer countries. Does he think we are rich? The French government tried to make it illegal to post online with malicious intent photos and videos of police brutality. Man, that hit a wall. Fast. Predictably. Poland. TV star probably raped beauty contestant. Guatemala. Our president is a tyrant. His political party has been funded by the army, so they invest more into stupid random stuff for the army and don't even have the money to buy the vaccine for their people. Also, there are more than 160,000 quet sales, $20,000,000 missing, which were supposed to be used for equipment for COVID-19. Who are corrupt politicians fill their pockets and leave people unattended. Group of old women got arrested for bringing cupcakes with dicks/vaginas on them for a bachelorette party. Denmark. Most famous is a kids show about a man with the world's largest penis. That sort of does what it wants. On a more serious note, our former Minister for Immigration, Integration and Housing will be put on trial by the Court of Impeachment after having illegally forced fugitive couples to be separated when the woman was considered underage. Then, almost, if I remember correctly, all mink in the country have been killed to stop the spread of mutated corona, which wasn't done legally either. Plus, many of the dead mink were buried to get rid of them. But now they have found that it may affect our drinking water. Spain. Politicians getting vaccinated before doctors, nurses, teachers and other essential workers. Australia is killing their own wildlife and most of their nature in general by selling out to the logging and mining industry instead of going for renewables, despite being one of the countries most suitable for both hydro and solar plants. Here in Panama we somehow only ended up with 12k vaccines when we were promised 40k. Government blamed Pfizer, which is horseshit. Government also decided to implement curfews and are only allowing people to go out on certain days based on gender, with men getting 2 days and women getting 3, with weekends being total lockdown. The government also decided $100 a month is good enough for a family to survive on, and people are pissed. In case you're wondering, stuff in this country is expensive. Sometimes more than in the States. We were supposed to have billions in relief, but most of it mysteriously vanished. Philippines. There's so many ideas where to start. The government decided to buy a more expensive and less effective vaccine from the Chinese at a higher cost compared to other countries. There were better deals offered as well that they didn't take. Allegedly, the pricing of the main vaccine they chose either meant that the Chinese sold it a higher price to our country, or there's some hidden taxing going on. The government's response to the controversy is literally them saying stop questioning the government. The pricing of pork is sky high and only going higher because of a sickness that came from China. And no, it's not COVID that infects pigs. Government's solution is to import pork from China. With all these things going on, the government also wants to focus on inserting military presence inside government-funded universities that are quite known for being vocally against the administration because of potential drugs and terrorists, and not because they are against free speech. I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of other fucked up things going on, but those are the things off the top of my head. Austria. Bunch of mayors and vice mayors etc. of various towns have skipped the queue for COVID vaccinations and taken doses that were meant for elderly risk group patients. In Honduras, the president is a drug lord bigger than Pablo, and not only is he 2 terms past what the law says a president should serve, but he also has the full backing of the US, even after jailing his brother for drug trafficking too.